There's a real need in our modern world to reframe the law and gospel in our lives. You may ask, what is reframing? Reframing is taking something that might be otherwise looked at as negative or obligatory and reframing it into something positive or opportunistic. In Anthony Headley's book, Reframing Your Ministry, he goes through and describes the whole of how to reframe your life and reframe your ministry. But one of the illustrations he used is very pertinent to this. And he uses an illustration from Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer was at his house one day, and his Aunt Sally said, "Hey, you need to go whitewash his fence." And Tom kind of begrudgingly does it. He goes out and he starts whitewashing the fence. He's out there and he's whitewashing it and painting it, and another boy comes up and he says, "Hey Tom, it looks like you're having a lot of fun there. I'm going to be going swimming today." And he goes, "It's a sad thing that you have to paint." He goes, "What do you mean I have to paint? I get to paint." And the other boy kind of stands back and is like, "What?" And Tom Sawyer says, "Yes, I get to paint. It's fun. I love whitewashing fences. I do it all day long." And so he convinces that other boy that it is a fun thing to do. And then other people come around and they get happy and they enjoy it and they come and start whitewashing the fence. And then Tom Sawyer kind of goes and hunkers down by a tree and kind of enjoys his work, enjoying the fact that he doesn't have to whitewash that fence all by himself and he's got all these other people to do it for him. While that's kind of a devious example of reframing, it also can be something that we can do in our lives and our experiences to make things better, to make things more enjoyable, to make them an opportunity, not an obligation. In the CBS TV show Undercover Boss, it's a show where these CEOs of companies, they go and they go undercover and they act like the lowly people on their thing of their company. And this boss from Waste Management goes with this other fellow who's cleaning porta potties. And you think, man, that's the most terrible job. The people who's got to be there has got to be the grumpiest people in the whole world. You know, who wants to go and clean a porta potty all the time? We all know how nasty those things get. Well, anyways, the guy who's there, he doesn't have a bad attitude about it. He's happy. He's upbeat. He's like, it's not a job, it's an adventure. He goes, we got a war on poop going on here. And he has all kinds of other things that are really enjoyable. And he's sitting there and he laughs and he makes jokes and he enjoys his job. And the CEO said, if we had more workers like that, imagine what our company could do. And that's just something to think about, is what can we do if we reframe our lives? Well, why do we need to reframe, you might ask? Because we often get it wrong. There's a TV show called The Way of the Master, and it's with Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort, and they go around and they ask people, do you believe you're a good person? And everybody they ask, they say, yes, I believe I'm a good person. They're like, well, have you never broken any of the commandments? And some of them are like, no, I've never broke any of the commandments in my life. They think that they're living these lives, and they're like, that they could get to heaven through living these lives, through their lives, and through their own works. They believe they can get to heaven. And while I don't agree necessarily with the way that they evangelize, I think it's a good thing that people do get that understanding that you don't get to go to heaven just because you're a good person. Because Romans 3:23 says, for all